So welcome back to part 3. In this part, we're going to go over how everything works with a channel. So starting off now, all of these EQ, all of these parameters up here are able to work with each one of these individual channels. So for instance, channels 1 through 32, you can use your auxes and everything will be able to utilize all of these features up here. So let's get into it. We'll just select a channel. For this, I'll go with channel 1. And let's start off with configuration. So configuration shows us that we can adjust our gain. We can see how the channel is being manipulated by the EQ and some of the other parameters. So if I have channel 1 here and I only want to use 1 through 8, or I need to repatch a channel quickly, I can actually take another source of channels. So let's say I need channel 9 to go in 1. Well, I click channel 9 and down here in 1 is 9. So this gives us a little bit more flexibility to kind of place things where we need them to be placed. Not something that you do often, but it is very nice to have that. So you have some of your delays and other things in the configure page. Moving on to the gate. The gate is the control right here. It is connected to the compressor. They do work together. So the gate, we can adjust the gate so that if it's underneath it, it'll basically turn the channel off. And if it goes above the gate, we'll be able to utilize that channel, which is the line shown here. Click on Dynamics. We do have a compressor built in and ready to use. It shows us all of our parameters, which are the attack, hold, release, gain, and mix, everything that we need there. We have our EQ, which does allow us to EQ our channel. We have 4 EQ bands: low, low, mid, and high. So we have everything that we could need right here. Now, let's quickly EQ a channel just to show you how it works. So let's say I want to add a low boost, and I want to add kind of a low mid, take out a little bit, and then I want to do a vocal boost, which I'll add a little bit of high end in the end. Now, if you're looking at my screen here, you're going to see that these are in gray. That means that these EQ parameters are not active. To make these EQ parameters active, we can click EQ. That shows them now in yellow. So what was gray is now yellow. As you can see, also with the EQ, you can use modes. So modes, you can actually, when you select each of these different 4 bands, it actually gives you a few different parameters to use. So you can add a high cut. You can add another vertical section in here. So you have 4-way EQ as well as a low cut. So right there I have a high boost, a mid decrease, a low boost, and a low cut, which is how you can use as many bands as you really want. Right now we're using 3 out of the 4 and the low cut. Moving downward, these are our channel strips. Now the X32, the large one, will have 16 over here and the 8 DCAs over here. So with this console, the compact, we can actually see channels 1 through 16 if we double click our 2 buttons right there. Something simple to do, gives you more viewing abilities over this. So let's go through and let's just build out a channel section. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to start with the drums. So normally my drums are channels 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's build out the drums. So let's turn the EQ off, turn the low cut off so we don't have anything. We go over to channel 1. What we're going to do now is we're going to click on Setup, and then we're going to go over to the Name and Icon tab. That is the tab where you will see all the colors, your channels, the icons, and the names. So I clicked on channel 1 right here. You can see that it's selected through the green. I like my bands to be blue, or my drums at least. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to start off with my kick drum. So I'm going to select kick drum. I see an icon of a kick drum. Now, you don't see any writing. So I select that, and then I have to click select again in the name. Then I see in the edit tab, it's the kick. So I can go down here, and channel 1 is the kick, and it shows me an image of the kick drum. Next, I want to put the snare in, so I'm going to put the snare. So I am going to go down, I'm going to select my color, which is blue. I'm going to go over now and click on snare, click my name snare, and now I have channel 1 is kick, channel 2 is snare. Now channel 3, we can go over, I want this to be my overhead, so I'm going to click this, and then I'm also going to click overhead left. Okay, and I have to change that to blue. I'm going to do the same exact thing right here. I'm going to go down, overhead right. Everything has just been named. Now, they give you, I think, 7 different colors that you can use. You can virtually double those colors by inverting them, which gives you 14 different options for coloring your channel strip. As you can see, each of these is a screen. That's how we're able to change them. So you do get flexibility throughout the console. So they give you different names and different things that you can use. So it's a really neat thing, able to quickly identify something. So now let's say I just need to build just a quick monitor mix. I can go and I can click on the buses, and you can select a bus, and you can name the buses too. So every channel is able to be named, which is a great feature. So I can name every single thing here. I can name buses, I can name DCAs, I can name matrices. Basically, you can name everything that you want to name. So for this channel selection, and you can even name the channels that aren't plugged in yet. So that's really neat for programming a show. If you don't have all your parameters brought in yet, you can go ahead and name everything, and then you can save it onto a flash drive and export it to another console. That's a really neat thing to do. It's also super practical if you have one of these consoles and you work with one of these consoles. So in the next part, I will show you how to use sends on fader, send to buses, DCAs, and things like that. So thank you for staying tuned in part 3. Can't wait to see you in part 4.